Scorpio, listen closely, because what's about to happen on September 9th, 2025 is unlike anything you've ever experienced. The Blood Moon Eclipse in Scorpio rises on this night, and it carries the force of destiny itself. This isn't just another full moon. This is a cosmic rupture in the sky, a tearing open of the veil between what was and what must be. For you, Scorpio, this eclipse is personal. It's a breaking point, a karmic checkpoint where the universe steps in and says, no more hiding, no more waiting, no more delay. This blood moon doesn't just light up the sky in red. It burns away illusions, exposes hidden truths, and shakes your soul until you remember who you really are. Think of it as a spiritual earthquake. Everything unstable in your life will be rattled. Every shadow you've been avoiding will surface. Every secret, every lie, both yours and others, will come into the open. But here's the truth. This isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to awaken you, to reset your karmic path, to push you out of comfort and into destiny. By the time this video is over, you'll understand exactly why this blood moon is more powerful than any you've felt before, the 3 spiritual tests you cannot avoid, and the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity waiting on the other side of this eclipse. So stay with me until the end, Scorpio, because when the shadow falls and the moon turns red, your life will not remain the same. This is the night the universe calls you to rise into your rebirth. The blood moon eclipse on September 9th doesn't just pass quietly through the sky, it lands directly in your domain, Scorpio. This is your sign, your energy, your battlefield. Scorpio has always been known as the sign of the deepest transformation. You don't deal with surface-level changes, you embody endings and beginnings. You are ruled by the cycles of death and rebirth, the mysteries of the underworld, and the unseen forces that most people are too afraid to confront. Scorpio's gifts are not light and easy. They are powerful, raw, and uncompromising. You carry within you the ability to look at the darkest shadows of life and transform them into strength, wisdom, and truth. That's why this eclipse belongs to you. Now, eclipses themselves are never ordinary. They are cosmic wildcards, moments where the universe bends time and fate. They expose what has been hidden, they collapse what no longer serves, and they open doors that cannot be closed. For everyone, eclipses are powerful. But when one lands in Scorpio, the energy is multiplied tenfold, because Scorpio doesn't just reveal. Scorpio destroys and rebuilds. Scorpio doesn't just shift the surface, it rewires the soul. And on September 9th, this is exactly what's happening. This eclipse is not asking politely, it's demanding. It's pushing you into the fire of transformation whether you feel ready or not. Old patterns that you've clung to for too long will suddenly collapse. People who drain your energy may vanish from your life. Financial karma, whether debts owed or blessings earned, will come to the forefront, and every corner of your soul that's been out of alignment will be thrust into the light. For some Scorpios, this will feel like loss, a breakup, an ending, a goodbye. For others, it may feel like a breakthrough, finally breaking free from chains that held you down for years. But for all Scorpios, this eclipse carries the same message. Your old life cannot continue. This is the energy of death and rebirth. It may strip away your comfort, but it will give you truth. It may dismantle false security, but it will reveal authentic power. It may burn down what was, but only so you can rise stronger, freer, and more aligned than ever before. Think of it like the phoenix, the great symbol of Scorpio. Before it can fly again, it must burn. But out of the ashes comes new wings, new strength, new life. That's why this eclipse matters so much. It's not random, it's not coincidence, it's your soul's contract with the universe. And on September 9th, the universe cashes in. Scorpio, this is your awakening. Ready or not, the transformation begins. Why do we call it a blood moon? When the Earth moves directly between the Sun and the Moon during a total lunar eclipse, the shadow of our planet covers the Moon. But instead of going completely dark, the Moon glows with a deep, fiery red light. It looks as though the heavens themselves have bled across the night sky. For thousands of years, this sight terrified and fascinated humanity. Ancient cultures saw it as an omen, a warning of war, a signal of prophecy, or a message that the gods were speaking directly to us. To this day, the blood moon carries that same electric, unsettling energy. It's not just beautiful, it's powerful, mysterious, and undeniable. But Scorpio, this blood moon is different for you. For you, it is not about fear, it is about truth. Think of it as a cosmic mirror hanging in the night sky. Under its crimson glow, you cannot hide from yourself. It reveals what has been lurking in the shadows, the secrets in your relationships you've tried to ignore, the fears that have quietly shaped your choices, the desires and ambitions you've buried because they felt too big, too dangerous, or too impossible. The blood moon doesn't expose these things to punish you. It exposes them to free you. It shows you what's been blocking your path, holding back your potential, and dimming your inner fire. For Scorpio, this moment is deeply symbolic. Your sign already rules over the unseen, the hidden corners of the psyche, the mysteries of life and death, the secrets buried deep within the soul. You were born to face shadows, to dive into the depths that others avoid. And the blood moon is the ultimate stage for that transformation. But here's the key. The blood moon never comes without a price. It demands sacrifice. Something has to be released. Something has to be surrendered. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer serves your growth. Maybe it's a habit that drains your energy. Maybe it's an old version of yourself you've been clinging to because it feels safe, even though it's keeping you small. The blood moon will not allow you to carry dead weight into your rebirth. It forces you to let go so you can rise higher. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like loss. But every ending under a blood moon is really a disguised beginning. The sacrifice clears space for something greater, your real power, your real truth, your real destiny. So when you look up at the blood moon on September 9th, don't see it as a warning. See it as an invitation to finally step into the power you've been hiding from, to face your fears and claim your truth. Because under the blood moon Scorpio, there are only two choices: stay the same and suffer, or surrender and transform. And you already know which path your soul came here to take. Now let's get into the astrology specifics of this eclipse. Because while the blood moon feels emotional and spiritual, the planetary alignments show us exactly why this moment is so charged with destiny. On September 9th, 2025, the moon is in Scorpio, and not just in Scorpio, it's in full eclipse. That means the light of the moon, which represents our emotions, our instincts, and our hidden inner world, is being completely overshadowed by the Earth's shadow. This symbolizes a profound moment where your subconscious truths, the parts of yourself you usually keep hidden, can no longer be concealed. They rise to the surface, demanding to be faced. Directly across the sky, the sun sits in Taurus. Taurus is Scorpio's opposite sign, representing stability, material security, and the physical comforts of life. The sun in Taurus wants to hold on, to build, to protect what feels safe and steady. But the moon in Scorpio wants transformation, emotional depth, and nothing less than the raw truth. This opposition creates a tug of war between clinging to safety and surrendering to change. It's the eternal conflict of holding on versus letting go. And under this blood moon, the letting go will win. Now let's look at Pluto, Scorpio's ruling planet. Pluto is retrograde in Aquarius during this eclipse. Pluto is the planet of power, destruction, rebirth, and the collective undercurrents that shape history itself. In Aquarius, Pluto is shaking up systems, governments, communities, and the very structure of society. And because it's retrograde, the energy turns inward, forcing you to question your own relationship with control, rebellion, and freedom. Where have you been chained to old structures that no longer work? Where have you been afraid to rise into your own authority? Pluto retrograde is making you face that. Then we add Mars in Leo, forming a square to this eclipse. Mars is passion, drive, conflict, and the raw force of will. In Leo, Mars is fiery, dramatic, and determined to be seen. This square adds tension. Power struggles, ego battles, and fiery emotions are likely. But it's not just about conflict, it's about breakthrough. This energy ignites you to fight for your truth, to stop shrinking back, and to stand boldly in your power. All of these alignments form what astrologers call a grand cross of destiny. It's pressure from all four directions, like the universe tightening the walls around you until you have no choice but to rise. You may feel cornered, pushed, or tested, but remember, pressure creates diamonds, and this grand cross is designed to carve out your highest self. Translation: Scorpio, you cannot ignore this calling any longer. The universe has aligned the planets in such a way that your transformation is unavoidable. Whether you step willingly into the fire or resist until it burns away what no longer belongs, the outcome is the same. You will emerge different, stronger, truer, reborn. Scorpio, the universe has placed 3 powerful tests before you during this blood moon eclipse. These are not random challenges. They are designed specifically for your soul's growth. Each one is a doorway, and only by walking through them will you step into your rebirth. 1. The test of truth. This is the first and perhaps the hardest. The eclipse will shine a merciless light on what has been hidden, whether it's lies in your relationships, illusions in your career, or the little deceptions you tell yourself to feel safe. Ask yourself, am I living authentically, or am I hiding behind fear? Maybe you've been pretending you're happy when you're not. Maybe you've been denying your deeper desires because they feel inconvenient or risky. Maybe you've been ignoring red flags in love or business. The blood moon strips away those illusions. It demands honesty. And remember, Scorpio, you are the sign of truth. You cannot evolve without it. 2. The test of power. Next comes the question of control. This eclipse will reveal exactly where you've been giving your power away. Is it a toxic relationship where you shrink to keep the peace? Is it a career where your talents are overlooked? Or maybe it's an old fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of success that quietly dictates your choices. The blood moon demands that you reclaim your energy, your authority, and your rightful place as the master of your own destiny. Power is not about domination, it's about ownership. Ownership of your choices, your boundaries, and your path. And if you don't take your power back now, Scorpio, the universe will create situations that force you to. 3. The test of rebirth. Finally, the eclipse asks for transformation. Something in your life must end so that something greater can begin. This could mean leaving behind an outdated version of yourself, releasing attachments to the past, or saying goodbye to a life chapter that no longer aligns with your higher path. Yes, endings hurt. But for Scorpio, endings are never just endings, they are gateways. You are the phoenix of the zodiac, and the phoenix cannot rise unless it first burns. This is the test of rebirth. Can you surrender what is dying and trust in what is waiting to be born? Only when you pass these 3 tests, truth, power, and rebirth, do you fully step into the transformation this eclipse is offering. Each test strips away another layer of illusion until what's left is the real you, raw, powerful, unbreakable. Scorpio, this blood moon is not here to punish you. It's here to initiate you, to forge you in fire, to awaken the part of you that has been waiting for this exact moment. And when you emerge, you won't just be changed, you'll be unstoppable. But Scorpio, don't think for a moment that this eclipse is only about endings. While the shadows may strip away what no longer belongs, they also reveal hidden treasures, gifts that can only come to you once space has been cleared. Financial breakthroughs. This blood moon has the power to bring major revelations around money, career, and abundance. Perhaps a new opportunity suddenly appears, an investment, a promotion, or a shift in your professional path that you didn't see coming. Or maybe the eclipse exposes where money has been leaking out of your life, giving you the clarity you need to fix it once and for all. Remember, Scorpio rules shared resources, wealth, and transformation. Financial karma is coming due, and this eclipse may deliver the very shift that puts you on the path to long-term prosperity, deep love connections. The blood moon also stirs the heart. Relationships that are false, shallow, or toxic may collapse. But that's not punishment, it's preparation. The universe is clearing the stage for someone who matches your soul. Some Scorpios may experience the reappearance of a karmic partner, while others may attract a soulmate connection that feels destined. This is not casual romance. This is love that transforms you, love that challenges you to grow, love that mirrors back your deepest truth. Spiritual awakening. Perhaps the most profound gift of this eclipse is spiritual. Your psychic abilities, your intuition, and your connection to the unseen realms will intensify. Pay attention to your dreams, to synchronicities, to those strange little coincidences that feel too precise to ignore. The blood moon opens a doorway between worlds, and Scorpio, you are one of the few signs brave enough to step through it. But here's the key. The gifts only come when you surrender. If you resist the changes, you may feel only the loss. But if you trust the process, if you lean into what's unfolding, you'll discover that what felt like an ending was really a beginning in disguise. Scorpio, this eclipse is not here to take from you, it's here to transform you. And in that transformation, the greatest opportunities of your life are waiting. Scorpio, eclipses are not passive events, they are invitations. The difference between being crushed by the energy and rising with it is preparation. The blood moon in your sign is asking you to meet it halfway. Here's how to align with this energy instead of resisting it. Release ceremony. Start by creating a ritual of release. On the night of the eclipse, write down everything you're ready to let go of. Old fears, toxic connections, limiting beliefs, even versions of yourself that no longer feel true. Be honest, write with intensity. Then, in a safe space, burn the paper under the night sky. As the smoke rises, visualize those patterns leaving your energy field forever. The act of fire is especially powerful for Scorpio. It symbolizes purification, destruction, and rebirth. Shadow work journal. Next, turn inward. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to face? Write freely without judgment. This eclipse will stir up hidden emotions, jealousy, fear, guilt, shame. Don't push them away. Let them come out onto the page. By naming your shadows, you strip them of their power. Scorpio is the master of transformation, and shadow work is your sacred tool. Protect your energy. The blood moon is intense, and not everyone around you will handle it with grace. Protect yourself. Cleanse your home with sage, Palo Santo, or simply open the windows and let fresh air move stagnant energy. Carry protective stones like obsidian or black tourmaline to ground yourself. And most importantly, avoid unnecessary drama. Not every battle deserves your energy. Save your fire for what truly matters. Set intentions of power. Once you've released and cleared space, it's time to set intentions, but not small, surface-level goals. The blood moon is about transformation. Speak intentions that affirm your rebirth. I reclaim my power. I embrace my rebirth. I rise from the ashes stronger. Say them out loud. Write them on your mirror. Feel them in your bones. These aren't just words. They are spells, anchoring your future self into the present moment. When you combine these rituals, release, shadow work, protection, and intention, you create a bridge between yourself and the cosmos. You're no longer just waiting for the eclipse to pass. You're actively shaping how its energy enters your life. Scorpio, remember, the blood moon is a storm, but it's also a blessing. With preparation, you don't just survive it, you rise with it. And when you rise as the phoenix, transformed, unshaken, and unstoppable. But Scorpio, hear me clearly. The blood moon eclipse is not asking for your permission. It is demanding your participation. And if you resist this energy, if you cling to what is crumbling, the universe will push harder. Because the blood moon doesn't care about comfort. It cares about truth. If you resist, the consequences will feel sharp and unavoidable. Some of you may experience sudden breakups or endings. A relationship that seemed stable may dissolve overnight. A friendship or business partnership may collapse under the weight of hidden truths. It will feel shocking, but in reality, the cracks were always there. The eclipse simply exposes them all at once. Others may face emotional breakdowns. If you've been suppressing your feelings, bottling up your anger, fear, or grief, this energy will burst through like a dam breaking. Tears, arguments, deep exhaustion. You may feel like you're falling apart. But understand, breakdown is often the first step toward breakthrough. For some, the resistance may manifest as financial shocks. Maybe an expense comes out of nowhere. Maybe a job ends suddenly. Maybe an investment proves unstable. This is not punishment, it's a redirection. The universe is forcing you to reevaluate where your security truly lies and whether you're building your foundation on truth or illusion. And then, for others, the eclipse may bring something even more dangerous, a deep sense of emptiness. That numb, hollow feeling of knowing you're not living your truth, but being too afraid to change. This is the universe's loudest alarm bell. Because emptiness is not your natural state, Scorpio. You are meant to live with passion, intensity, and power. Why does this happen? Because the blood moon is not optional. It is what I call a soul contract activation. Before you were born, your soul agreed to moments like this, turning points where destiny intervenes. You can choose to resist, but the contract still stands. The eclipse will keep pressing, louder and louder, until you finally answer the call. The more you resist, the more dramatic the wake-up call becomes. What could have been a gentle nudge turns into a shove. What could have been a quiet ending becomes a storm. So Scorpio, ask yourself, do you want to surrender willingly and rise with grace, or do you want to resist and be dragged? Either way, the transformation is coming. But only one path allows you to emerge with clarity, strength, and power intact. This is not about punishment. This is about alignment. The blood moon is stripping away what cannot follow you into your next chapter, and resisting only delays the inevitable. Scorpio, don't fight the current, let it carry you, because beyond the chaos lies your rebirth. So Scorpio, now I have to ask you, when the blood moon rises on September 9th, when the sky turns red and the veil is ripped wide open, what choice will you make? Will you face the truth, or keep running from it? Will you claim your power or hand it over to fear again? Will you embrace the death of the old self and rise as the phoenix you were always destined to become? This eclipse is not random. It is not coincidence. It is a soul appointment, and your name is written all over it. The universe is calling your number, Scorpio. It's saying, now. No more waiting, no more excuses. You can resist. You can try to hold on to what is already falling apart. But you already know where that leads. Pain, emptiness, endless cycles that repeat. Or you can take a deep breath, open your heart, and step fully into the fire, trusting that it is here to burn away everything that does not belong to your highest self. Scorpio, this is your phoenix moment. This is the night where endings and beginnings merge, where you release who you once were and step boldly into who you were born to be. And I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments right now. What do you feel this blood moon is asking you to release? What part of your old life, your old identity, your old fears are you ready to let go of so you can finally rise? Write it down, claim it publicly, speak it into existence, because the act of saying it, of owning it, is your first step into transformation. And remember this, Scorpio, this is not the end. This is your rebirth. This is the chapter your soul has been waiting for. The universe has chosen you for this exact moment in time because it knows your strength, it knows your resilience, it knows that out of all the signs, you are the one who can face the shadows and rise stronger, brighter, more powerful than ever. So step into it, fully, fearlessly, without hesitation. Because when you walk through this eclipse, you will not come out the same. You will come out awakened, transformed, reborn. This is your destiny. This is your moment. Rise, Scorpio. Your rebirth begins now.